Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of the Post Game Spread. I'm your host as always, Blake Helm. Yesterday I had a really incredible conversation with a local guy that has had a huge impact on the baseball and softball community, really all the youth athletics in the area, Jared Washko. So we did the Jared Washko story of Washko strength and speed. He is the premier guy in the Central Illinois, Springfield area. All the D1 guys, all the college guys, all the pro guys go to Jared. You know, it that speaks for itself. And not only is Jared the guy to go to for strength and speed, he's also a Springfield firefighter, which is incredibly interesting. And he also has a really heartwarming, tough tale, life struggle going through with his son Ty and some medical issues that they've had there, and it's really incredible to hear how his family has pulled it all together, how he has managed to do all these different things, be a firefighter, be a dad. They go down to St. Louis all the time for their son and his health stuff. And just incredible to hear. We got into some nerdy stuff too when it comes to the training. That's kind of my background. So I really was interested to hear what Jared thinks there. I think he is the guy. So I've said it many times. If you're not under the Washko Strength and Speed umbrella, you're going to get rained on. So, again, this was a really fun chat. We got to talk with a bunch of baseball guys, too, that Jared has trained. Mitch Dye, Sam Antonacci, Maxx Grieme, Louie Bartletti, some absolute dudes. So, hope you guys enjoy this. This is a little unique for us. So, there's some baseball, but a lot of training talk in here. So, hope you guys enjoy. And now a few words from our sponsors. Thank you. We are also brought to you by Hammers Radon Mitigation Solutions. You can reach them at 217-670-4292, hammersradon@gmail.com, or head on over to their website, hammersradonmitigation.com. They do exactly what you need. This is everything radon that you can think of. This is Les Hammers. This is a Springfield firefighter, a former standout football player at Jacksonville, Truman State, and then played a little pro ball, a little arena ball himself. Since opening, Hammers Radon Mitigation Solutions have become masters of their craft. Their commitment to quality mitigation, exceptional services, and incomparable customer care keep our homeowners safe. They never stop improving and will continue to expand their offerings. Get in touch with Les today. You will not be disappointed. We really appreciate you guys. Thanks, Les. We are also brought to you by the Hitting Center, and they have some very big news. The Hitting Center Arsenal Baseball Organization, with over 20 years of excellence, is making the leap to Shields Sports Complex, the future of sports in Springfield. Springfield's premier destination for baseball and softball is moving to a brand new home this fall, and they're inviting you to be a part of it. Currently located at 1800 South Turkson Parkway, the Hitting Center features 12,000 square feet of indoor space with 8 batting cages and 2 pitching lanes. But now, they're getting ready to move into a brand new state-of-the-art sports dome at the Shields Sports Complex, bringing endless developmental possibilities and even more room to grow. With this exciting move comes the opportunity to expand. We're looking to add new teams, players, and coaches for both Arsenal Baseball and Hitting Center Softball. Interested in joining one of our teams or perhaps starting a new one? With 10 baseball teams and 7 softball teams already in action, we're proud to utilize the most cutting-edge technology in the game, including Hit Tracks and Rapsodo. Plus, our partnership with UIS Baseball gives us access to their incredible turf field for year-round practices and games. And soon, we'll be adding turf time at the Shields Sports Complex, a game changer for all of our players. At Arsenal Baseball, our mission is clear. Train with purpose, develop leaders, and excel in baseball and in life. This is more than just a game. It's about building character and striving for excellence in every area of life. The Hitting Center, Arsenal Baseball, and Hitting Center Softball, now calling the Shields Sports Complex home. Come check us out and be a part of this exciting new era of sports in Springfield, as we enjoy being a partner at the new Shields Sports Complex. Call 217. We are also brought to you by BOS, Bank of Springfield, and Jason Knadler. The Bank of Springfield has essentially a whole baseball team over there. I'm talking guys like Jason Knadler, Justin Knadler, Timmy Ballin Wallen, Eric Weaver, Ryan Murphy, Murph Mathiot, Frank Stefano, Greg Morantz. I trust every single one of these guys to handle my money and to steer me in the right direction financially. There are 3 locations across the greater Springfield area for your convenience. Bank boldly with BOS. We really appreciate you guys. We are also brought to you by BSN Sports, specifically Adam Anderson, who grew up playing ball with Blaine Cravens and Walt Patton, former guests here, and played football at Illinois College. BSN Sports, the nation's leading supplier of sporting goods, uniforms, and apparel. They provide game-changing solutions to their customers and work to make life easier for coaches. They have over 13 sales pros in the central Illinois area. Reach out to Adam Anderson at adam.anderson@bsnsports.com. They'll take care of you. We really appreciate you guys. Thanks, BSN. Okay, all right. Here we go, guys. Welcome back to another episode of the Post-Game Spread. I'm your host, as always, Blake Helm. We got a unique story here today, a unique guy that's kind of putting his input into the baseball community here in central Illinois, in Springfield. This is going to be the Jared Washko story, okay? And Jared and I go way back. We'll get into that in a sec, but kind of his background is, a baseball guy at SHG, played baseball at SCI, then went on to get his exercise science degree at ISU. He spent time coaching for the Arsenal and was an assistant to his brother at Mount Pulaski for many years, and he's now kind of the premier strength and conditioning guy in central Illinois. How I know Jared, we started, I want to say around 2013-ish. I ended up, kind of as my baseball career ended, I started training people at a place in here called Body Cemetery, where Jared was at, and we were kind of doing very much the same thing. Both he and I wanted to train athletes. That was kind of our bread and butter, but also had to train general population too. So we could go from a D1 college guy to a 90-year-old grandma. That would be our next client, and that made for some funny times at times. And then later on, I saw Jared got onto the Springfield Fire Department, and that kind of got my wheels spinning there, and I ended up following his footsteps there. And now, Jared, you've been a firefighter for about 10 years, maybe? Not too close?
In my 10th year, yep.
In your 10th year, yeah. So while my time has ended, Jared's journey continues on, and we've always kind of had this, shared bond over strength and conditioning stuff and talking about training and baseball and whatnot. Jared has been a sponsor of the podcast since day one. Always appreciated him. So what I wanted to do was just get a picture, get the story of how this came to be. I can remember thinking back to our days at Body Cemetery and thinking, I had the same aspirations of, like, I would love to open my own facility and train athletes, but I didn't think Springfield could do it, could support it. And, good on you for doing that and proving that can be done. And you're absolutely kicking ass, pardon my French, but it's really impressive what you built, man. I know you went from Body Cemetery to you were at Rhino Works for a while, right?
Yep.
And you had a facility out in Jacksonville. Now you're here on the kind of north end of Springfield, the old Skateland North. It's really cool what you set up here. And, what he's created is this community of the guys, the dudes, the baseball and softball. He does other sports as well. Don't get me wrong there. He can train any sport, but really the softball and baseball guys, the D1 guys, the college guys, the pro guys are coming here to Jared, and that just speaks volumes about what he is doing, the type of community he has created here. And so I wanted to talk to some of the guys that he has, influenced, and it's really a who's who of, like, dudes here. So I talked to Sam Antonacci, SHG, Heartland, Coastal Carolina, now in the White Sox minor league organization. Maxx Grieme, did I say that right?
Yep, Grieme.
Yep. He's a junior at Taylorville. This kid's an absolute monster. I love his swing. I've been seeing videos of it for quite some time now. And really, he's getting a lot of D1 looks and college looks. So we got his perspective. We got Mitch Dye, so SHG, Lincoln Land, U of I stud. Louie Bartletti. So Louie Bart in the mix. SHG, went to Quincy for a little bit. Now at IC and absolutely dominating there. And then from what I think I know, he's going to end up at William & Mary next year. Yes. Already signed, sealed, and delivered. So
graduate. Yep.
D1 next year. Already signed with the Horseshoes to play this summer. And then also Kyle Welch, K-Rock. I'll always know him as K-Rock. I can't not call him that. Yeah, but me and him go way back. We played on the Central Illinois Magic traveling team together. He was a stud at route at IC. A baseball guy in the community, one of the best hitting guys around town here. So Jared, how are we doing, man? I got rolling there.
Yeah, no, I love it. I'm glad to be here. Glad to be here. Thank you for having me on.
Absolutely. I would love to hear, before we get into, I think we're going to start with the clips. I think that will really set the tone for us. But sure. I'd love to hear a little bit what life is like for you these days, work, family. I know you got a lot going on. I've always said that I don't know. It seems like you've found a way to put 30 hours into a 24-hour day. So I'd love to hear kind of what life is like for you these days, and then we'll get into more of it.
Yeah. So, these days I'm still full-time fireman for Springfield. That's my career. That's my stability.
Sure.
And I really enjoy it. I mean, I couldn't give it up. And I've got, the business here. Luckily only one location now that I have to worry about. So that's nice. We were in 2 locations for a while, so that was kind of splitting my attention. And then I've got 3 babies, 7, 5, and 2. Mm-hmm. And then I've got, number 4, AKA the Encore, coming, the first week of June.
You guys are nuts.
So, yeah. I don't know a whole lot of people with 4 kids these days. I guess we wanted to, I don't know. We're both competitive, so maybe it's just our competitive. No, I'm just kidding. No, we wanted one more, I think. Or who knows, I think that'll be it. I think that'll be the Encore.
Yeah.
Coming in June. And, obviously you always got to get the go ahead from your wife when you got a career and you got the business. To do anything in my life, I have to look to her, because every additional thing we take on puts something onto her. So
yeah, I imagine that the teamwork between you guys is pretty imperative to doing anything. I can't imagine you guys what you have to go through to do all the things. So we'll get into
get into all that. But just having being a team throughout the whole thing. And she actually, we'll get into that as well. She takes on a lot with the business as well, as far as administration goes. So a lot of the creativity you see or changes we make on a year-to-year basis is really her. She's the brains behind all that. So I usually have a vision and it's a mess, and then she kind of organizes it and puts it to life. There's a lot of people that have helped me along the way. Like, I want to do this, but I have absolutely zero creativity and I don't know how to implement it.
Yeah. So who can help you with that?
So who can do that for me?
Sure.
And usually it's someone just doing me a favor. So, trying to keep my kids healthy, and just be the face here, spend as much time as I can here in this facility.
Yeah.
Is really important to me. And obviously, we're trying to expand right now, in this facility. So, more to come as far as business.
Before we get into some of these clips, I'd love to hear a little bit about there's been some change kind of going on here at the facility and with Washko and Elite and 226 and all this stuff. Can you speak a little bit about what is moving forward with that?
Yeah, for sure. So Washko Strength and Speed is going to continue to live here for now in this facility. We hope to be here very long term.
Yeah.
We're just trying to nail down a guarantee that we'll be here long term. So whether that's purchasing the building or signing a long-term lease, whatever it is. And then as far as the baseball and softball, like academy side, that's in its infancy. It's a brainchild right now. I've got a couple partners that are coming in with me, and we're just trying to make it. We're taking the blueprint of what was here before, essentially, and making it local guys, local dudes running this thing with, between the 2 partners I have lined up and myself, we have 11 kids. So, and all play sports, or hopefully will play sports.
Yeah,
they're pretty young. So, having local guys kind of run this place, we'd like to throw up cages, obviously, here ASAP, as soon as we can.
Yeah.
So all that stuff's in the works. And just make it like a sports academy type of deal. We've got tons of ideas. It's not just going to be baseball, softball, but that will be the primary driving force. But I don't need Washko Strength and Speed doesn't need 20,000 square feet.
Right.
So it's nice right now. We have a bunch of open turf.
Yeah.
But even right now, we have lessons going on in here. Yeah. I've got some great dudes in here doing pitching lessons, hitting lessons. We like to get football and soccer skills in here as well. Lots of ideas that were floating around, but main thing is stay in this building and make upgrades to the facility as well. New HVAC and just kind of make it our own home.
I love to hear that. Well, before we get into these questions, and I think they're interesting because part of it is baseball because you're obviously rooted in baseball, but where you've made your big mark is all strength and conditioning, and that's kind of my background too. So I hope I didn't get too nerdy with some of these questions because I love talking training and stuff. I know I love talking training and stuff like this. So
All right. How about you get to choose who's the first guy that you want to hear from? I think it would be great to get kind of the juices, the vibe going by hearing from some of these guys and what Washko strength and speed has meant to them and their careers. Who you want to go with first?
Oh boy, let's just go. Let's just go youngest to oldest.
Max?
Yeah, let's just go Grieme.
All right, Grieme time. All right.
Double X.
Let's go Max on what stands out.
I feel like, he's got the best track record, having those many guys, go to college, and now he's got 2 in the professional leagues and stuff.
Yep.
I think everything that he does is good. Like, most of the time people stop going to him for their own personal reasons because they're not doing that, but I feel like it's just everything and more that you could want. The recovery room, he helps with nutrition now. He just started that, and I've gotten so much faster and so much stronger from being with him, and it's really helped me a lot. So I think that's the main reason why I'd go to him.
Great.
I think it's everything, man, from just getting stronger to learning how your body works, and that's everything as a baseball player. And everything is so much more dialed in from him, and I've learned a lot about my body, being able, and then I can take that to anywhere else on the field. And he's just a great guy to be around, and he's taught me a lot of things about baseball, whether that's physical or mentally, and he's helped me a lot to get to where I am today.
So pretty composed for a junior in high school, and I keep seeing videos of this guy between you and Kyle. Massively strong. I love his swing. A lot of upside. He's getting a lot of D1 looks already. You got any thoughts on what he just said, or any comments?
Not a lot of thoughts. Just more general thoughts about Max come to mind. His journey through starting with me. I think he started as I want to say he was 13 or 12.
Yeah,
13,
12.
Maybe.
That's what he said.
And he was just your average kid that wanted to play baseball.
Right.
And I can't remember how we got linked up. I think it was through his summer team. Maybe we had another kid in the gym already, and maybe a couple of them started together. And just the journey that he's been on, it was like, he was just very your typical 12, 13, 14-year-old in the gym.
Yeah.
And then, as I'll talk about later, I'm sure it'll come up, the great equalizer, which is puberty.
Right.
In this atmosphere. I feel like I'm almost an expert on that, now,
Sure.
just from watching
Right, all these young athletes make that transition.
Yeah, and I try to explain to him when that puberty hits, and everybody's different. It could happen at 12, it could happen at 16.
Sure.
For some of these kids. So for him, it was like one day he walked in the gym. I don't know if it was after a summer or, if it was probably in this facility. He walked in, and I was just like, oh my Lord.
Different kid.
Yeah. What are you eating? It was just puberty. I think, I think it hit him, and it hit him hard. And we'll talk about that, like how that him having that previous stimulus and having that really nice base of he already knew how to move.
Yeah.
Because he was very coachable. He is very coachable. Mm-hmm. So we were able to get him moving right. And then once that hits, everything clicked for him. And the big thing that we do is the testing the metrics, and that's where we see those huge jumps. And one day he came in here and just ran like a 2-2, which is just, that's,
a 2-2 what?
So we call it a 20-yard fly.
Okay.
Essentially, it's basically a split, 30-yard dash. And so for us, those numbers, we rack 4 digits. So I don't know what he is up there. He's on the PR board somewhere. But just one day he came in and he was just fast.
Yeah.
He was never fast.
Right.
He's a catcher. Obviously, the more speed you can put on a catcher, the better. But,
sure.
But not super important, and we never really super worried about it. But he came in one day and he was just fast
because of growing and also all the work he's doing in here, right?
And just watching his body change too, like looking at the legs on him.
Big strong legs on that dude.
Legs.
Yeah, he looks solid.
And I think that's attracting coaches as well.
Yeah, he looks like he's got some real pop.
Yeah, watching him swing too.
Yeah.
Watching what his bat speed has done, and just this fall. He had massive jumps from August to August, so 23 to 24.
Mm-hmm.
He hits the scout circuit and stuff, and does the, I don't know if it's PBR or whoever it is, but he brings me those numbers, and all of a sudden he's also throwing down. I think he jumped like 10 8 or 10 miles an hour on just in 1 year throwing down to second. Once those numbers start to hit, and then how Twitter is now, where those kids, I really try to share that stuff on Twitter, because that's where those, that's where baseball
exposure
is. And all of a sudden those guys start getting follows, and then those turn into texts, and then those turn into real interests. So,
Absolutely.
He's one of those guys that, wherever he ends up, he's going to be a dog. And ultimately, I think the sky's the limit for that kid.
Yeah.
Really well said. I love hearing all that. Let's move on to Max on his fave lifts.
A lot of the one-legged stuff I love, and it's helped me a lot as a catcher. Some of the stuff that I find challenging is different varieties of trap bar and stuff, and the eccentric phases. They're fun, they work, but man, they're challenging sometimes, and that's the biggest thing I like is it's not a boring process with him.
Yeah.
Like he changes it a lot. He goes through the phases that you need, and it is challenging, but it helps a lot.
I love.
Yeah, trap bar, and I noticed that that's kind of become a staple in a lot of the videos that I see of you. And I, as a strength guy myself, I have fallen in love with that. I don't want to take words out of your mouth, but I see it as a really safe way to deadlift. You don't have to. It doesn't take tons of time. There's not as much shear force on your back. It mimics, explosive movements, jumping, power. Do you have any thoughts on why you use trap bar versus anything else? Why is that a staple?
Not surprising that, a lot of these kids love trap bar.
Yeah.
And we're not ones to say like, he's deadlifting 600 pounds.
Right. But it's fun to put some weight up.
Yeah, he's trap barring 600 pounds.
Right.
Very different.
It is.
But still, numbers are numbers, and it's still power development. And for me, a big change that I made several years ago, and I think it pays huge dividends, is risk versus reward.
Yeah.
Risk versus reward.
Absolutely. Yeah.
And I do that daily. So limiting injury, and I just got to the point where it's like, okay, we're moving to this group kind of atmosphere, this nice flow that we have with kids, and I still am moving around constantly and watching lifts and assisting in lifts, but you can't assist a straight bar deadlift on a 16-year-old. I mean, if you're helping him or helping her,
not really.
There's no spotting it.
Yeah, there's not.
Once they get going and it looks like crap, I mean, there's not much you can do.
Right.
Now there have been athletes in here who say, "Hey, I prefer straight bar," and I say, "Okay, show me." And if it's like dog,
no.
I'll
or
say
clean it up.
But let's clean it up.
Yeah.
And if you can clean it up, then you can do it.
Yeah.
Because it definitely has its place.
Sure.
But we'll try sumo as well. So like Louie Bartletti's a big one.
Really?
She's a sumo gal?
She wanted to straight bar deadlift.
Yeah.
She always preferred that over the trap bar.
Okay.
And so I specifically remember that being like the one person I have in here is
she's sumoing.
A high level female athlete, but still a female athlete, of all. And she wanted it, and so we mostly sumoed with her. She'd take her shoes off and sumo deadlift.
I love that.
But most of my boys that you get these 14-year-olds that kind of like, I know how to deadlift,
right?
Bar down. It's kind of like the longest yard when he's like, well, why can't I be quarterback? Like, well, that's why you're not quarterback. Like, that's why you can't sumo deadlift. So I even remember like in my more petty days, I'd video him and be like, that's why you can't.
Does this look good? Does this look good?
How's that look to you?
Do you think this looks good?
No, but we don't. I don't find myself in our atmosphere bringing out the straight bar too often.
Right.
But if they really want to, I'm open to it. Absolutely. So.
Yeah.
But power development, trap bar. Gosh. Yeah.
And from what I think I know, like I think we think similarly, and like we're not big Olympic lifting fans. I've always thought it takes too long to teach, and it's so technical, and I think you could get a lot of the same stimulus from other plyometric type movements, jumping and moving fast. Do you?
Yeah, I agree. Some like football players, basketball players, I will teach them like modified Olympic lifts. So like, I don't know if they consider it modified, but I do, like the hang clean.
Like a little hang power clean?
Yeah, hang power clean.
Yeah.
Not true squat cleaning.
Right.
Nothing like that usually.
Right.
Just typically kids don't have mobility, and it's just hard to teach them.
It's really hard to master that.
I've never mastered.
I mean, guys in the Olympics spend their whole lives trying to master that lift,
You're talking about risk versus reward. So,
right.
Sure.
And again, always open to it. If a kid comes in and says, I want to do this, I like this lift, I do it at my high school.
Uh-huh.
My first thought is,
Right.
Teaching you that.
Right. Yeah. This is a PE teacher.
Yeah,
Right.
PE teacher.
With limited knowledge.
Yeah.
Right.
And but I'm always open to it. But yeah, I have several kids in here, again, post-pubescent, that will do hang power cleans. But that's about as far as we go. Nothing overhead. Absolutely nothing overhead in my gym.
Absolutely. For throwing athletes?
I don't want to say zero overhead for throwing athletes. I've gone a little bit more open to it, but I mean, I guess if you consider like no shoulder press or anything like that.
Right, yeah.
No military press
Right.
for overhead athletes. But yeah, I think we get into that a little bit.
We'll get into that, yeah. Okay, yeah. I'm already getting like nerdy with you on all this stuff, and I'm like, I got to get through these clips first. I just want to talk shop. All right, let's go Max on He's My Guy.
Yeah, I mean, me and him are tight. You know, he's my guy. Like, I see him a lot more than most people would think.
Yeah.
But yeah, he's just a great guy, and I always, every time I'm there, or at least most of the time, he's got Wes and Ty with him, or Logan, and Sammy's in there too sometimes, and he just really creates that family environment. You know, Washko's gym just feels like home to me now, and it has been for about 4 years now. And he's just a great person to be around, and feels like family to me now. I love
That's going to be a reoccurring theme of these guys saying you're like family to them. You know, this is the community. Do you have any thoughts on that?
Yeah, I mean, hearing that means a lot to me because that, you know, it's not, I don't do it on purpose, bringing my kids in here and showing these athletes that like, hey, this is a home. Mm-hmm. To me, it's your home as well. So, you know, respect the space, respect me, respect my kids. Like, I don't do that on purpose, but I think having the kids in here, like having my kids grow up in here, fosters, I think now that he says that, kind of fosters that environment. Mm-hmm. It's important to me that my kids can coexist in this space.
Absolutely.
My wife will tell you that some days are more frustrating than others having the kids here, especially if I have like a brand new client. It never fails. I'll have a brand new evaluation and Ty's yelling that he's ready for me to wipe his butt.
Some of these guys have spoken about that. They're like, one's over here, one's like running up on a box, trying to jump off. One's
they're the worst behaved when I have a brand new client. Like I had one a week or so ago, and I'm like, you have to. Like, she was here too. And I was like, you have to go. This is embarrassing.
I do not look professional right now.
They have to earn their right to be here. I'll take away a week from them or something if they're absolutely terrible. And like, you know, you need to regroup and come back next week because that was bad. But yeah, no, they run around the gym. They and all the athletes love them. I mean, that means a lot to me when my guys show interest. You know, my guys and girls. I mean, show interest in my kids and don't just ignore them.
Sure,
absolutely.
You know, I have plenty of girls in here that will just grab my 2-year-old and pick her up and walk around. She may like belt out in tears, but they'll just pick her up. And I love seeing that because it's like, okay, for like 5 seconds, I don't have to watch her.
That's cool.
But usually it's the boys in here. And then, my wife spends a lot of time in here as of late too. So.
Yeah, I love it. We'll move on to our final Maxx thing. This is Maxx on my favorite Jared story.
Ooh. I don't really have any that stick out, but I know a couple of years ago when we did the shopping spree, we lifted before that. And me and my buddy were doing some trap bar deadlift, you know, getting like 3 reps and struggling. He just casually walks up and like reps it for like 8, like nothing ever happened. It was funny. It shows that he's freaking strong.
Still got to let these young bucks know.
Occasionally I'll feel it. What probably made that funny is if it was a shopping spree day, I was probably wearing red tights and Christmas.
Right.
I always dress up for it, and I probably wear the same thing every year.
Can you speak to the shopping spree?
Yeah.
I'd love to hear about that.
So yeah, the shopping spree, we started, let's see, we just did our 3rd annual, I think. I think it was our 3rd or 4th. Actually, it might have been our 4th. So we moved here 22, 23, 24. Yeah, it was our 4th annual because we had one at Rhino Works, and then we've had 3 here. Mm-hmm. So that started, my wife and I are extremely passionate about, like, specifically, I mean, what Mercy Communities does is houses women and children, you know, with no fathers. You know, they're either gone, they were never there, they were never around, they might be in jail, who knows. Mm-hmm. They're just not present. So it's women and children. And just one late fall, I think I just brought it up to her, like, I feel like we should, you know, we're starting to get some traction here in the business, and we have a lot of people coming through our doors and a lot of young people, and we can do something more with that. Like,
Yeah.
it doesn't have to be a huge monetary financial thing on our side.
Mhm.
Like, you know, obviously we can donate some and do the whole shopping, but it's more about bringing that community together and making something huge happen.
Mhm.
So it started rather small, and you know, my kids were super open to it, obviously, because I have great kids. And that's just kind of grown from there. I really am like self-conscious about trying to beat what we do every year.
Yeah.
And we've had a lot of help. Like, you know, Kyle Welch and the Extreme organization helped us out. The Shamrocks helped us out this year.
Cool.
Yeah, I mean, so it's grown into something where I can grab people, bring them in, and
Yeah.
they're more than willing to help, just because of the good people that I keep in my circle.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so and then we do a big donation day. We do a big shopping day. We collect everything here. Again, my wife is the brains behind all of it.
Mhm.
I literally just show up. I don't even tell the kids about it, I guess. She pretty much does everything. I go
Yeah.
get the trailer. And then we go shopping. We figure out where we're going to go.
Yeah.
Organize it beforehand, like on note cards.
Mhm.
Put the kids in groups. Maybe give them some cash or give them a credit card or whatever. Put it together. We have a lot of people that donate cash as well. And then a bunch of people that buy stuff and then we take whatever's left on the list, the Christmas list of these kids,
Mhm.
basically, of these families, and we take that list, whatever's left over, and we go and buy everything with the donation money. And we also have an angel tree in here. So we have a few things going on, like
Yeah.
a team will sponsor a family,
Beautiful.
or a couple families will sponsor a family, and then we have the angel tree in here that a lot of people pull from,
Mhm.
and then we just have cash donations. So and it's really,
I love it.
fill an enclosed 12 by 8 trailer top to bottom with gifts.
That's incredible.
Day that we
Yeah,
do.
no, you guys are doing great.
So yeah, it's a lot of fun. It's a lot of work, and but we're exhausted when it's over. But yeah, it's something we want to continue doing for them.
I love that. That's really special. I love just giving back into the community there. Good for you. You want to move on to Mitch Dye here?
Yeah.
If we want to go in age order, would he be the next?
Let's see, who'd you talk to? Mitch, Louie. Yeah, Louie.
Yeah, probably close. Yeah. Okay. All right. Let's go, Mitch. He's rolling in the middle of the season, so I appreciate him giving me a little bit of his time here. Let's start off with how about Mitch on how he got hooked up with Jared?
I think it was COVID, so it was my sophomore year. There's like no gyms or anything open, and I wasn't really doing much. School was out. The only thing I was really doing was hitting and playing catch with my dad, and then started talking with Sam Antonacci, because he's like my best friend. I went to high school and grade school with him, and he kind of recommended Jared, and actually Jared's uncle is my godfather, so there's a connection there as well.
Oh, cool.
But, yeah, Sam recommended him. I started going in. There was like a group of 5 or 6 of us, and then obviously it took off. But yeah, that's kind of how I got hooked up with him originally. It was COVID.
So were you?
Okay, I've got some thoughts there. I know I floated this by you, but has no one ever said the whole the slogan "He went to Jared" before to you?
No.
I'm the first one.
Yeah. I never thought about it either, to be honest.
So if you guys don't remember, there was like I want to say, I don't know if it's still Jared the jeweler used to be a guy, and there used to be these commercials where diamonds, and it'd be like he went to Jared, like he went to Jared. And I couldn't help but think about that when I heard all these guys talk about you, and you've kind of become this guy here in the community of like, is he going to Jared? Like, he went to Jared. So I said I was tentatively calling this "He went to Jared" unless something more profound finds us here. But it is cool to hear how, like, Sam was doing it, so he was like, man, maybe I should go there, and then Sam leads to this guy, leads to this guy, leads to, okay, if this guy's doing it, I want to be a part of this. And it's cool how that's all connected.
Yeah, I couldn't remember who came, because they were real close, Sam and Mitch, and still are. I couldn't remember who started first. I probably would have guessed wrong. I thought it was Mitch, but maybe it was Sam.
Sounds like.
But yeah, I do know Mitch's dad through family as well. So my uncles and my dad, know Mitch's dad. We call him Bone. That's his nickname. You can see him running around town. He's a big runner.
Okay.
But he basically covers the entire west side. Him and my uncle both are big runners. But yeah.
He went to Jared. All right, let's go, Mitch, on how Jared helped his career.
Yeah, he helped me take off in all those aspects. Like I went to Jared, and I really had no awareness in the weight room, no flexibility. It was kind of just me relying on pure talent. And he kind of showed me the basics of the weight room. He put me on with a good meal plan. He taught me flexibility, why I need to have flexibility to pitch. And then I went to Jared, and then I think maybe a year and a half later, I'd gained at least 10 miles an hour on my fastball.
Wow.
So, yeah, I wouldn't even say just what Jared taught me in the weight room. That's not the only thing that helped. I would say he kind of taught me just consistency and work ethic that I retained pretty well from him. So,
all right, everyone out there listening, you did not mishear that. He said 10 miles an hour. You heard that too, right?
Yeah. I don't remember how much it was, but I know there was a huge jump between his sophomore and junior year.
Yeah,
and I think he put about 2 or 3 more on probably between his junior and senior year.
Is he running it up low mid-90s now?
Yeah, he's probably. Gosh, he's pretty consistent around 91, 92. Mm-hmm. I think he pops a 93, 94 occasionally.
Shoo.
I just watched his, was it 2 nights ago?
Yeah, I saw that, yeah.
He's starting to come into his own, and, man, he looks good. I think, so they brought him in relief against ISU, and, man, he was just, his off speed is so dialed in.
Yeah.
He's really developed his changeup. Mm-hmm. But he was curveball, changeup. And I don't know if he didn't feel the fastball, but then he K'd up the last guy on the fastball.
Saw that one.
2 fastballs out of like 19 pitches or 20 pitches. Thoughts on that? Mitch was a baby deer when he first started.
Like uncoordinated?
Oh, God. I mean,
just growing into his body still?
Yeah, like athletic.
Yeah.
But, gosh, I can still see visions of him first, like front squatting with me.
Yeah.
And just the collapse, the valgus collapse, the E version of the feet, like he's big on that. So we got him on like wedges a little bit.
Really?
We experimented.
Push him out.
Yeah. I've progressed my thoughts on that a lot. We still use wedges for some guys. But back then when he first started, I was still really like, okay, I've never seen this tall and athletic of an athlete struggle this much in the lower half. So he kind of taught me a lot as far as like
made you grow as a strength coach.
Yeah, like how are we going to fix this eversion, this valgus collapse?
Yeah.
What are my cues?
When he's saying valgus too, for those of you who don't know, it's your knees collapsing inward essentially.
Yeah. So and then I start to think, okay, well, hips, like he probably has weak hips, like he's kind of straight and narrow down.
Yeah.
So building the glutes for him was like huge.
Really?
Like, oh yeah,
that was the missing piece.
Yeah, he has glutes now. Like, I mean, not to
every athlete needs glutes.
Yeah, I mean glutes. Like, so, but when he first came in, he was pretty. He was pretty much a board and
standing up frog.
Yeah, but he could throw it. I mean, he could chuck it. Obviously, we knew that already.
Yeah.
He was probably low 80s at the time, maybe or maybe 80. He could probably tell you better than that.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, his development was something. And he would still tell you he's not the greatest mover we have in the gym, but gosh, how far he's come.
Yeah.
I mean, it's crazy. And I still look at him and I'm like, man, we could still improve on this lift, on this lift. And, maybe that's the ticket to 95 or,
sure.
Mobility wise, he's really taken a lot of that into his own hands. We started him early with a lot of stuff of, like his upper body, too, like how I remember specific exercises we were doing over at Rhino to try to get his scaps to like, they were real choppy. Like nothing was smooth, like say on like a Y press or something, chest supported inverted Y press, just going straight was tough for him.
Really?
It was like, like couldn't really glide. The scaps weren't gliding like they should.
Yeah.
Not to get too nerdy on here, but
I dig it.
But like Y's and T's and Y and T holds, Y press, like stuff like that. Those little things. I remember telling him like, dude, this is the ticket for you. Like as far as upper body goes and hitting that.
And it's hard to probably convince a young athlete that like these little tiny weights, maybe even no weights, doing Y's and T's to solidify these parts of your body is the ticket. That takes trust.
Yeah. Because I remember him really struggling with scap retraction, like getting back, retracting, and then coming through.
Yeah.
A lot of it was just arm, and I think that's been a huge ticket to keep him healthy as well. Like, he's using his entire body now and everything he does. His development as a pitcher has been pretty cool to watch.
I love that. Is it cool here? I'll tell you, all these guys are gonna talk very similarly about you in terms of like you made these huge impacts on their career. It's gotta feel cool that like the dudes of Springfield are like giving you all this credit of like that you really helped them in their career and develop as an athlete. Yeah.
Yeah, that's cool. I mean,
yeah, that's cool.
They all have made me, like I said with Mitch, something with them has made me a better strength coach.
Yeah.
And I just enjoy having them around.
Okay, let's go Mitch Dye. Not one size fits all.
I would just say he doesn't have a one size fits all program for anybody. Like, I'll have a completely different program as a person that's working out next to me. He kind of like he picks out our lowest hanging fruits, and we just try and like hammer that out so we can not have any deficiencies. And like he just always has a really good plan for what I'm trying to do, whether that's maintain weight, gain weight, just stay steady during the season. Like, he just always has a plan, and if you put the work in with his plan, you're going to see the results you want.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah, but the working with the plan. You got anything?
No, just the buzz phrase that. So that's my buzz phrase is low hanging fruit.
That's it. I saw you make a reaction when you said that. Yeah.
So low hanging fruit. I didn't expect anybody to say that.
They are listening.
Yeah, that's my buzz phrase. What's your low hanging fruit? I mean, even with a young kid. So, yeah, that was cool to hear.
Okay, let's go. Wait, what? I clicked on. Cheers, help my career. How you hooked up? Okay, we got story time. What year?
Like, honestly, like another parental figure for me, and I'm sure Sam has said something similar. Like, I go in there, I can honestly, sometimes it's not good because I need to get my work in, but I can shoot the shit with Jared for hours if I wanted to. But like, he's kind of just been a mentor for me. I still text him probably. I try to text him once or twice a week here, but sometimes we both get busy, so that doesn't happen. But yeah, I just have a really good relationship with Jared and Jared's whole family. They're like a whole nother family to me. Like, I'll stay in there me and Sam will stay in there for another hour after our workout and play with the kids and talk to Jared. It's just a great environment that he created, and he's one of the most important figures in my life.
Oh, man.
Pretty powerful words.
Yeah. The relationship that him and Sam especially, and there's others that are growing into those roles too, that they have with my kids is really special to me.
Yeah.
They're right. I mean, they will. I tell them like, hey, you guys don't have to hang around. You can get your work in. Like, just get your work in.
They want to.
And they'll play. Like, the boys will come in, and I'll be like, hey, Mitch and Sam are there. Mitch and Sam are here. They're their cars.
Yeah.
All right, be good. Don't bother them too much. And it's like, come in like, Mitch, Sam, I'll play hide and seek. I'll play hide and seek, and they'll stop their they'll stop their workouts or stop their cage work to play hide and seek while I coach.
So great ball players, great people too.
Yeah, I mean, that's really important to me. So
Yeah.
you'll hear me say my guys a lot, and in my guys, I mean my guys and my girls, but it's that group, that core group that's like, I will travel across the country to watch you play.
Yeah.
I won't do that I can't do that for everybody.
Sure.
But once you're my guy or in my inner circle, one of my girls, it doesn't matter where you end up, and you could stop working out with me and be done 5-10 years, and you'll still be welcome back into my home.
I love that.
And I think these guys, long after their careers are over, I envision them back watching my kids play, or coaching my kids, or, like Sam will hit with Wes quite a bit in the cages. And just to have those kind of people around when my kids are growing up and trying to, I'm just basically like, hey, Wes, just watch Sam.
Yeah.
Like, watch what he does here.
Yeah.
When we'd watch him at Heartland, or, we went to the Coastal Series. Just, hey, watch what he does here. Notice how he hustles or whatever. So having those guys as a mentor for my kids is super important to me.
I love that. It's so cool to hear these guys, say the same thing. What you've created here, that these guys want to be around, that they want to be playing with your kids, that they want to hang out here for hours, that, you know, you're welcome to come see them at spring training. And it's just like, I don't know, man. I'm quite touched by it. Last one, story time.
I'll give you two stories. Probably just
All right.
it's pretty general. One good story is just every year the strength and spree that he puts on, him and his wife put on. I don't know if you're familiar with that, but
Tell me about it.
They basically grab, it's like a Joshua tree, I think it's what it's called, so at the facility, and people will grab things off the tree, and it's for families in need, and they'll send in requests for what they need, and they'll put it on the tree, and then people at the facility will go grab that and bring it to the facility. And then if there's anything left on the tree, Jared, his wife, and some of us will go to the store and kind of shop for it. And then Jared and his wife organize it all, which takes forever. Like, it's not an easy process. Like, him and his wife grind in the back room of Turn 2 for hours that whole week, and then they deliver it to their families in need. And that's just, like, one of my favorite experiences that I've had working with Jared. Like, especially this year, I came home that weekend to make sure I could go do that with a bunch of guys, and that's just one of my favorite experiences with Jared.
That's special. I love that. Thank you for sharing that. What's the next one you got?
I would just say it's kind of funny seeing Jared kicked off when Wes, Ty, or Logan are messing around in the weight room, and they'll lose track of one, and then the other one's on top of the box about to do a box jump, and it's pretty funny seeing the kids just run around in there, and gets Jared a little fired up.
I love it. You got anything?
No.
Okay.
No, but he did. He made sure he contacted me. He's like, "Hey, when you doing that this year?" And he
went out of his way.
Yeah, came home from Champaign.
Yeah.
To make sure he was home, to do it, and his girlfriend also gets involved too, and we'll always bring at least a couple trips and bring some stuff in, or Mitch will bring it in. So
that's awesome. We got to get a Mitch Dye jersey up here. So he's got some of his guys' jerseys up here.
Yeah. He knows he's next.
Yeah, got to get one.
Yeah, he's part of the budget. It's actually saved in my browser. It's in my browser. I just need to buy it.
Oh, you have to actually make them yourself, or like buy it, or how does it work?
I got to buy it. It just depends on the school, really.
Yeah.
And then
that's cool.
And then two of them are professionally framed, and then they were just charging way too much. So my wife actually frames them now.
That's great.
So Ben's there. My wife did.
All right.
So that's why the frame looks a little different.
All right. Next up, we're going to do Louie Bartletti. So I'm excited about this one. Like I said, Louie is SHG, Quincy, IC. He's meandered around a little bit. Going to be at William & Mary, hitting jacks at IC now. I know you've always talked about him as being this like really high-level athlete. He can just move. Phenomenal. Signed with the Horseshoes for the summer. And before we get into our Louie Bart, I already told Jared I was going to do this. So this is my plea to the I can't even do this without laughing. This is my plea to the Springfield community. I have been trying to get so I made my pitch to get the former Ellen Antonacci, she's now Ellen Bartletti, to come on the podcast. She's actually my neighbor. She lives on my street. She's widely regarded as the greatest softball player in CSA history. I reached out, and we had kind of a fun back and forth, and she spent about 24 hours thinking about it after I made this big pitch to her, and ultimately told me no. But I have a hard time letting go of things that are on my heart. So I have recruited Rosie, who was a stud pitcher at UIS. And shortstop, yeah. And Louie to help recruit her. But I need everyone else's help. So if you know Ellen, former Antonacci, Bartletti, text her, tell her she needs to come on. I want to tell the story. I will pull out all the stops. I think it would be really special. That is my plea. Sorry, Ellen. I hope you're not too annoyed by this if you're listening.
Come on, Ellen.
Come on, Ellen. I think it would be incredible. I would say, oh, man. I would do I need to have a softball player on. I think it'd be really fun. I really love the Bartletti family and what they stand for. I know that they have a really strong work ethic, and they're just a great family. So anyway, moving on to Louie Bart here. Let's start off with, or first of all, you started working with him pretty young, didn't you?
He was actually.
Or was he late?
He was probably after the other two, Mitch and Sam. Just after, yeah.
Okay. Let's go. What stands out about Jared to start off with?
Jared is really adaptable. He's really easy to talk to, and he's there for whatever you need. So he has he'll have a different program for every sport, for every athlete. He's super easy to communicate with and to talk to, and he's just fun to be around. And he's every time I go in for a different program, he's got some sort of new device or new exercise or new stuff. He's always coming up with new things to keep it fresh and to find different ways of doing new things. And it's just awesome the amount that he can do with what he has.
Oh, that's Louie Bart. You got anything or move on?
No.
Let's go to the next one. Yeah. Let's go with what Jared has done for his career.
It's been huge. I noticed a difference right away. I didn't really, before I started going to him, I didn't really enjoy. I didn't hate it, but it was never something I would going out of my way to do. I didn't love lifting or stuff like that. But ever since I started going to him, we had initially the first few years he had it more group training. So it was me, Mitch, Sam, and it was probably a group of 8 to 10 high schoolers our age. And it was really fun and really competitive, and it made me love lifting. And now I still to this day, I love lifting. I love anything I can get in the weight room and better myself. The improvements in my strength and speed were almost immediate once I started going there. And I feel like once you start to see an improvement, it makes it so much easier to love it and to keep doing it.
For sure.
But that goes for anything, I'm sure.
Well,
and I don't know if he mentioned it, but he said something, or I don't know if I got it on a clip, but he mentioned that he got up to dang near about 600 pounds before he broke his legs on trap bar deadlifts.
Oh, yeah.
Nuts.
I mean, absolutely.
You've always said he's one of the most impressive athletes you've had, right, in terms of jumping and just.
I could go on for a long time talking about Louie and his feats.
Can you give me a little bit?
Oh, yeah, right now? Yeah, for sure. He's just a freak. I mean, the twitchiest guy, and his sister Rosie's the twitchiest.
Really?
That I probably will ever have. Yeah.
Really?
I don't think in my career I'll see a twitchier male athlete or female athlete.
And that bloodline is strong because Mike Bartletti was a stud baseball player at Lincoln Land and went on to play at University of New Orleans as well, and just known for his speed and being explosive.
Yeah, I mean, it's insane. I've always said I don't think hopefully I'll continue to have great athletes for my entire career doing this, but I don't think twitchy wise, naturally twitchy, I don't think we'll be able to top it. And that's okay. It's kind of sad, but it's okay. Because they're both aging out, obviously. Yeah. Louie actually works for me too. He's great with the athletes.
Oh, cool.
Someone does that, and I think he's kind of studying that realm too.
So, oh, cool.
He does a great job. And then still does my programs, which is really cool. I got a couple guys like that. But yeah, he was trap barring crazy amounts. I mean, just lifting crazy amounts. He's definitely tops. He's near the tops in deadlift in here, trap bar, if not the top. And then he's absolutely the top in the front rack position. So
really,
that includes
special.
That's front squat.
Yeah.
That's front rack reverse lunge. That's some kind of split squat, whatever it is. And funny thing about Louie, and actually Rosie too, both are so wound so tight in their body that Louie really struggled when he first started with me, keeping his heels down.
Really? Okay.
So, because he was so tight.
Some ankle mobility or hamstring?
I was like, yeah, I mean, it's just whole posterior chain.
Yeah.
So down to the lack of dorsiflexion.
Yeah.
So, and I think that's for a purpose for the way they're built. It's probably just all part of it. It's kind of what I deduced out of it. So we put him on wedges. He was my first huge experiment with wedges. I was like, you don't squat without wedges for a while. And we started this back at Rhino when we were in there. So put him on wedges. What we found, he was kind of like my little science experiment with the whole thing. Put wedges under him, squatted properly with wedges, learned how to squat properly with wedges, still squatting heavy, got heavy and heavier. And then one day we just took away the wedges.
And his mobility had improved?
Yes.
Beautiful.
So, because I didn't know what it would do. I just knew that we need these wedges.
Strength can correct things sometimes, you know?
And it might have.
Yeah.
And we just needed those wedges for a while.
Interesting.
So I'll use him as an example when I throw these wedges at kids. I'm like, my strongest guy that I have here, my strongest squatter.
Because some might balk at the idea of, like, I don't want to do this.
I don't want to crush, you know?
Right, but hey, my number one athlete ever had to do this.
Yeah, and I think he's still wound tight, but his mobility definitely improved, his dorsiflexion. And now it's just funny to think about he needed that crutch to move properly, and now he's the strongest. I mean, he puts the day I saw him put more weight on the bar than me on the front rack position. I said I've never had 3 plates and moved like that.
Really?
In the front rack position.
Like fast?
Yeah. It's incredible. I mean, you have to watch. I have videos for sure.
Yeah.
But yeah, there comes that day where, and you may have not experienced this because of how strong you are, but there came a day where I was like, I have several athletes moving more weight than I can.
Well, I don't train people anymore, so that day's never coming.
Right, yeah. And I was like, this is pretty cool.
Yeah, for sure.
Kind of like humbling for me.
Yeah, right.
Because
yeah, you're a strong guy. You always have been.
Like Max said earlier, like I would just walk up and I could just throw the bar around him.
Right.
None of you guys can even touch.
Yeah, but you're not doing that with Louie weight.
No. Several of the high school guys do now.
Yeah.
Or even.
That's cool.
So it's pretty cool, and obviously I don't put the time in that I used to, but it's pretty cool to see so many guys lift more weight than me. And yeah, his feet after he broke his tibia, I believe it was. It wasn't a tib fib fracture, but it was one of the two. He was having a great season out at Illinois College. I think it was his first year there after he transferred from Quincy, and he slid into like the fence going after a ball in the outfield. And I was supposed to go to the game the next day, and his dad texted me and said, "Hey, just letting you know, he said you were coming to the game the next day. He broke his leg." It's like, God dang. He was hitting the crap out of the ball. So he comes back, makes the whole comeback deal. And not too long ago, like maybe a year ago or last winter or something, he's in the gym by himself. And he's like, hey, he texted me. He's like, I think I'm breaking records right now with my metrics. Because his metrics were the same for a long time because he had the broken leg.
Yeah.
He was jumping. I think he had a 36.9 vertical on our jump mat.
That's crazy.
He was running on our 20-yard fly, just unprecedented. Like no one was even touching it. It was a 2 flat, essentially. I've never had someone run a 1.9 just to give an idea, and I've had some dudes in here temporarily.
Do you know what a 60 is?
No, but he would know, but it's transferable kind of. I found like a chart, and I can move that 20-yard fly or 10-yard split into but 20 is going to be more accurate. My guess is he's all the way a 6'5" guy. Mm-hmm. If not, when he's at his fastest.
If not lower, yeah.
But easily 6'5" when he's at his fastest. And what's funny, so he texted me these numbers, and he crushed all 3 of his records, which hadn't been beat in a long time by him. They were like 2-year-old records. Mm-hmm. Broad jump, I think he jumps now 123. Broad, which is NFL top.
Right, yeah. That's like an NFL cornerback.
Yeah. Vertical, he hit 40 for the first time.
Oh, man.
From 36.9, which we thought.
That's nuts.
I thought I never got hit 40.
Right, yeah.
And then beat his 20-yard fly, too. But yeah, and he still run. You can see he runs with a little bit of a hitch.
Really?
Now, but he's somehow fast.
Still?
Or at least as fast.
Interesting, yeah.
Beat his time. And you can see that little hitch he has. Or at least the last time I watched him run, you can still see that little hitch just from breaking that leg.
Yeah.
So, twitchiest guy, most naturally gifted guy that we'll ever have.
Shout out to Louie Bart, yeah. I love that little rant we went on. I cannot remember which one we just played. I think we played What Stands Out About Jared. Did we already play What Has Done for His Career?
I think that was the second one you played. You've played 2.
Okay, cool. All right, here we go. Louie on his favorite.
Like lifting, like trap bar deadlifting, like really heavy weight, like more than I ever thought I could. Like I think you can do. I think anybody can do a lot more weight than they actually think they can if they just push themselves. And learning that hard work ethic, that has helped a lot. But favorite exercises now, I like a lot of the split stance stuff, like reverse lunges, split squats, and then just he has a ton of explosive stuff that we do, just a lot of jumps, and that just I feel like really helps with my speed and athleticism. I feel like really helps with my speed and athleticism.
I love that. Well, this is going to be final words on Jared.
Not anything in particular, but just how enjoyable it is to just work with him always. And he's got his kids in there a lot, and that's always funny and a good time to see them running around. And
sure.
he's just a great guy to work with, and I'm glad I've connected with him.
I love that.
Known him for the past 7-8 years.
Yeah.
Final words from Louie Bartletti. Shout out to that Bartletti family. Just love those guys. You got anything else?
No, maybe a little bit. Yeah, the trap bar, what he said about people pushing themselves on that, because you're in such an advantageous position with those handles, and especially the big boys. I allow them to get on the rogue bars, which some strength coaches have, what do you call it, chastised, I guess. Like, they barred them from their gyms.
Why?
Those rogue bars, because they're so leveraged. Like, those bars come up higher.
Yeah.
So what I call just the Olympic, which is the old Olympic brand, silver.
Yep.
Those are the traditional trap bars. And
those sit a little lower, the handles. They're not as high.
So I never let anybody start on the rogue trap bar.
Okay.
Because it's too leveraged of a position.
You can put some numbers up on that boy.
So I make them learn that first, and then once they're polished, like Louie or any of those other guys, like, they can move to that rogue bar.
Yeah.
But my rule is 45 is 45. So even though that rogue bar weighs 65 or 60-ish, I call it 45.
Oh, interesting. Doesn't count.
1, weight room math, and 2, you're in a more leveraged position.
I like that.
I got tired of kids saying, "Well, I did 405
on this."
Well, how come I'm not? You're making me do this bar, and I'm doing 315.
Right.
It's like, okay, we need to go back to calling that bar 45. So I think I got that from another strength coach too.
I love that. I've never heard that.
Yeah.
I like that a lot.
We just make up for it. But yeah, Bartletti family, shout out to them. All 4 of them have worked out with me now. So two of the younger daughters are little speedsters. Track, I think one of them was volleyball track, and then one of them was soccer track, and they're just both track stars. So you'll see that SHG 4x1.
Yeah.
You'll see them on the 100 and the 200. They're all twitchy. They're all fast.
I love it. What an athletic family. Great genes on both sides here. Next up, Sam Antonacci. So who was part of that, Ellen Antonacci, that baseball family. Don't forget my plea to everyone out there. Text message Ellen. All right, I'm done being annoying on that. Sam Antonacci, I've got to say, I've interviewed him twice now. One for the Ben Hartle podcast, and now for this. And I felt more relaxed and chilled after talking to him. Like, he put me at ease. Like, he is just laid back, isn't he?
Yeah, he does. You're not going to hear a lot of pitching in his voice. Like, he's pretty. I just saw an interview with him yesterday when he got to Winston-Salem. The guy, one of the Sox guys, was interviewing him. He's just is who he is.
Yeah.
He's not going to get too excited.
Is Winston? I didn't see that. Is that high A or where?
High A, yep.
Beautiful. Okay.
Yep. So he was Winston-Salem and the Kannapolis low A team scrimmaged yesterday.
Okay. Do you know where Hartle got sent?
He is at Hickory, the Crawdads. So that would be their low A.
Okay.
So he went back to low A. So hopefully he'll climb that ladder pretty quick.
For sure. All right. Let's start off with some Sam Antonacci. Let's go. What stands out?
Probably just say how caring he is for his clients. You don't get that from a lot of people in that position. Kind of just doing it for the money. And Jared, it's not about the money for him. It's about developing relationships with not only the athlete, but the athlete's family as well. And I've pretty much grown up in his gym and become a man in his gym, and watched his kids grow up as well. So I think that's the coolest thing. The lifting and the sporting events, it comes along with it, but just watching him continue to build his platform and watching his kids grow up and try to be a good role model for them, I think has been the biggest thing that I take away from just life, is just enjoying it for the most part.
Sam, man, he was better. A lot what I find when I talk to these guys, the second time I talk to them, they're like a little sharper. Like they like know like what's gonna play or what sounds good. Yeah. So he was sharp, man. Like it sounded like a professional baseball player talking to me. You got anything or keep going?
He's super important, just like I said earlier, to my family, and my kids love him.
Love that. Let's go next up. What Jared brings?
Just all the stuff that he brings on an everyday basis. I think he truly builds his programs to modify whatever athlete that he's working with. And again, I don't think all trainers are like that. I think a lot of trainers will just hand out the same programs because it's the easiest thing to do, and it's not time consuming. But that may end up being, a softball player and a football player, and you're giving them the same program. That's not the case with Jared. He's making it to where it's best suitable for you, and I'd say all his workouts are hard. And then again, that's why I like it so much is they're challenging, and he's also not going to let you cut any corners in his gym, and he just wants to, not because he's, he's an upbeat guy, and he wants to see the best version of yourself, and he wants you to succeed. He's not gonna yell at you to do the right things, or he's not gonna raise his voice, but he just wants to see you succeed so much that he'll do everything in his power to help you in the gym.
I love it.
Love it. You got anything or keep moving?
Yeah, I try to mix it up for them all. Usually I'm thinking I'm not mixing it up enough, and then sometimes I'm just saying, sometimes you got to go back to the basics. But it's nice to hear them say that I mix it up.
Yeah, for sure.
To me,
keep it interesting.
I'm staring at programs so often that it's like this feels the same. So
yeah, absolutely.
So innovation is important to me.
Right.
But the meat and potatoes of it are typically the same. I'll occasionally have new nuances, like coming up with something new that I see or think about. But for the most part, I mean, you can't reinvent the wheel. But split stance stuff and stuff like that, I think is what separates us, and phasing those in and out. And but yeah, I try to mix it up for those guys. And Sam's one of those guys that I can throw everything at these guys. Him, Louie, it doesn't matter what I throw at him. It's never too difficult, but at the same time, don't want them overtraining because I do everything I throw at them.
Yeah, absolutely.
So keeping that in check and just using the eye test, like watching how they're leaving the gym when they're done.
Yeah. I love that. That's a sign of a great trainer. It's so easy, and a lot of trainers beat their chest on just like beating down an athlete. Like you can throw volume at an athlete and wear them out, and they'll be dragging ass out of the gym. But is that helping them? Right. Are you creating more of a debt for them when they can train again?
Yeah. I always tell kids, like, if you puke in my gym,
something's not right.
Fault.
Yeah.
You should not puke in my gym.
Right.
Unless you ate something bad.
Right. Or you were not from exercise or overstimulating your nervous system. Right.
Guys pride themselves on.
I made all my athletes puke today. Like
trash cans. Like
anyone can do that.
Trash can on my floor.
Right.
You better not puke.
Right.
So
no, that's a sign of a good trainer, of a good strength coach.
And learning where each kid is starting.
Yeah.
But guys like that, I don't have to worry about it because they're self-regulating, and
sure,
you're never going to push them beyond that point once they're established in here. But but new kids, it's very important to me that they have a good first experience. So
I love that. No puking. All right, next one. Jared is a person.
I think that's the biggest thing that says how he is as a person. I can go to him for anything, whether that's about baseball or training or just life in general. He's always there for me, and so is his family, and I just enjoy having that relationship and having a guy like that to rely on, to where if it's just something in life that I'm struggling with that I need to get off my chest, I can go to him, and he'll always be there for me, and that's what I'm so appreciative of him for, and I couldn't be more thankful.
Love that. Got anything?
Yeah, sometimes you got to pry it out of Sam. Whatever, you got to pry things out of him. So yeah,
yep.
I love when he talks to me because he's just a quiet dude. He doesn't want to talk about his problems to you. He doesn't want to talk about I try to pry it out of him. So as you get to know him better, it's easier.
And he's going to be a guest sometime on here.
Yeah, he better be.
And I won't forget the text message that you sent me when I announced that he was going to come on, you were like, I have to be a part of this.
Oh,
and of course you will be. Yeah.
Yeah,
that was cool.
It's like I got so much to say about him.
I got to get it off my chest.
Bring me on.
Absolutely.
Me and you were scheduled.
Yeah,
so.
That was great. All right. He went to Jared as the next one.
Ooh, how did I get first hooked up? I think it was around my freshman or sophomore year in high school. My dad helped me out looking for a trainer. It was close to our house. Knew a little bit about him, and he was really small at the time. Only had a handful of people, and it was at a small place from where he was at now. But heard a lot of great things about him just from other people, and just wanted to try something new, and ultimately still working with him today. So glad I chose him.
Love that.
I'm glad he chose you.
Yeah, I still remember his dad calling me. So I know his dad, Billy.
Sure.
Known him for a long time.
Yeah. Hell of a baseball player himself. Yeah. U of I.
Absolutely. And a coach, great coach at SHG. And just funny because was just terrified of Billy when I was in high school.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, I just,
Was he one of your coaches?
He helped out with like the Saturday morning practices. But previously the team before us, so it would have been like my brother's team. I think he was very involved. And then Sam, I think his kids probably started playing, and I think he stepped back a little bit, but he still ran like Saturday morning.
Was he intense?
Workouts. Oh my God, he was so intense. And that's all I knew him from was just baseball. It was so intense. And now he's just like, I mean, I'll text him.
Yeah.
It's just like
not quite as scary as you thought he was.
He can still get loud in the stadium, but no, he's just a great guy. But so we kind of went back. I remember he called me or texted me or something and wanted to get his boy in, and I knew who he was. I think he was already playing varsity as a sophomore. Then the whole COVID deal, those years are kind of a blur. Sometimes it feels like guys have been in my gym for 10 years, and you look back and you're like, oh, they started with me in 2020.
Yeah.
It's like, I think it was that drag of COVID that felt like 10 years long.
Sure.
So it was somewhere around his sophomore year, and he was already a great hitter, just was small. And,
yeah.
I think his dad called him heavy-footed
really?
When he first started with us, and that's what he wanted to improve upon.
Interesting.
And still, like, Sam's fast, and he's a really good base runner and really aggressive. So he's faster than he actually is.
Okay.
Sounds like on the bases because he's so aggressive.
Sure.
And still, like, not, he's not Louie fast or anything like that.
Right.
A good runner, but amazing how much quicker he's become. And I still tell the story of the split stance methods that I use. He's a big part of why we started making those staples.
Core lifts, yeah.
For everybody.
Right.
Core lifts, core lifts. Because what we saw with him was he was really weak in the split stance. Struggled with a single leg stuff like storking, like putting the leg back and having one leg down. And then just I think he took that personally. I was like, hey, we could really work on this.
Yeah. And
he just hammered it. And now
took off.
I think in certain positions, I mean, pound for pound, he's probably the strongest in the split stance position. Because he can really move some weight for his size. Because he's under 200 all day. I mean, he might be 195, something like that.
Yeah.
Usually when I see him, and he can really move some weight in the split stance position. And I think that was a huge part of developing his speed, was him getting strong in that split stance position.
Yeah.
So
I've become a huge proponent of the single leg stuff too. Back when I was a trainer, I was much more, my core lifts were like, squat, deadlift, blah, blah, blah. But as I ended up tearing the labrum on my left hip, and I could no longer squat. So I started doing a lot of Bulgarians, a lot of split stance to maintain strength. And if I could go back and be a trainer again, I would do things so much differently. And the split stance and the Bulgarians would be such a staple, such a core lift. Yep.
You telling me the Bulgarians and sending me videos of you holding hundos. Is this good weight? Yeah, I'm doing about half of that. So pretty good.
Before we get moving, I got one funny Sam Ant story that it jogged my memory. So back when I was playing indie ball and I got released and I was back home, and the SHG guys would let me come out there and hit in the cage. And Sam was out there with his dad hitting next to me and my dad, and they stopped for a second, and he was complimentary, like, oh, look, he's swinging really hard and whatnot. And I knew who the dad was, but then didn't click until 10, 20 years later or 15 years later. I'm like, oh, this is arguably one of the greatest hitters to ever come out of Springfield now. And like, this was this little kid just watching me. Yeah. That's anyway.
Still going those cages, yeah. His dad will still take him over to those cages.
That's cool.
Maybe they come in here now quite a bit, but yeah, outdoors I remember seeing them going to those cages
all the time. All right, big reason, Sam Ant.
I think he's a big reason of where I'm at today. I don't think if I didn't have him, I don't think I'd be in the position that I am today. He's ultimately taught me how important it is to strength train in season. I think that was a big thing for me growing up younger. I think I was really hesitant of lifting a bunch during season. I would lift, I'd go crazy in the off season and then kind of dial it back down in season. He taught me just, if you're going to dial it back down, just do it the proper way. I think that was what helped me the most was being able to lift in season and continue to keep that weight the same each and every day, because there's a lot of long days at the field, especially in the summer when it's 90 to 100 out and you're losing 5 pounds. You got to eat and train the right way, and if you don't, you're going to lose all your muscle, and you're not going to be healthy, and you're going to be more prone to injury and a lot of other bad things. So he's done a lot for my career and to where I'm at today, and I couldn't thank him more, and I'm very appreciative of him.
Lots of gratitude from Sam Ant. Pretty cool.
Yeah, it's humbling. Yeah, for sure. The in-season stuff, I think we touch on it maybe later, but yeah, big on the in-season stuff.
We'll talk about it. Last one from Sam Ant here. A bunch of dang good memories.
I'm in there. I was in the off season. I'm in there every day, and there's always something going on. But I don't know. I wouldn't say funny stories. I'd just say a bunch of dang good memories in there. I've been there for the past, what is it now? 6 years.
Wow.
But yeah, just a lot of memories. I walked in there at 160 pounds, and I'm around 200 now, and I've been watching his kids grow up, watching all the clients grow up as well, and just the culture that he's brought. It's kind of changing the game. I think anyone who's not working out with him and just an athlete in Springfield, I think they should start going to him, because it honestly could be the best boost to your career, or anyone who's passionate to play at the next level in college, or just be a well-rounded high school player. I think he will give you the best opportunity to be successful, not only in high school, but at the next level if they're interested in that as well. So I can't say enough good things about him. Kind of just got to get in there and see it for yourself. But yeah, so many good things to say about him.
Hey, Sam Ant with the endorsement there.
Yeah, I love that.
Awesome, man.
Yeah, he lives in here when he's home. It's he's in here more than I am. I mean, no question about it. Every day I come here when he's home. So whether it be the winter or, his off seasons are changing now, where he's home late fall through February, early February, and I can't tell you how many days. It's just like it was almost a guarantee that he was here.
Yeah.
But once I got here, he might be here for 6 hours. Again,
that's cool. He just loves it. Yeah.
Like, man, I'll probably keep him a little bit longer than planned with my kids or myself, but he has no problem being here. It was like his home.
I love it.
A couple of those guys were like that.
That's so cool. And I hope you guys are listening out there. I hope dads are listening. I hope baseball players are listening out there. The number one kind of baseball dude right now, or one of them from the area, is endorsing Washko Strength and Speed. Get under the umbrella. You don't want to get rained on. All right, man. I'm going to save our K-Rock clips for the very end. I think it'd be nice to take us out. So,
and now a few words from our sponsors. Thank you.
We are brought to you by Hale Construction. quality you can trust. Looking for top-notch roofing and general contracting services in Central Illinois? Look no further. Hale Construction, owned by Springfield native and former senator and logger Seth Hale. He's your go-to team for quality craftsmanship at competitive prices. They've got roofing and general contracting experts, honest, reliable, family-oriented services. Competitive pricing without sacrificing quality. They do roofing, siding, composite decks, windows, doors, you name it. At Hale Construction, we treat every customer like family, because to us, you are. Call or text Seth Hale directly at 217-816-2434 for a free estimate today. Say yes to the best. Hell yes. We are also brought to you by Sitco Chiropractic. They can be reached at 217-525-2035 and sitcochiropractic.com. They offer chiropractic care, corrective exercises, lifestyle advice, nutritional counseling, spinal and postural screenings. They are located at 205 North Grand Avenue. Love the Sitco family. From the dad, Steven, to Kyle and Casey, I grew up with them. Their brother, Tyler, was a big-time baseball player at SHG and SCI. There's a reason they have over 70 ratings on Google, and they're all 5.0. These guys are great. I went to them a few years back for some back issues I was having. They'll fix you right up. Go see Sitco Chiropractic. We are also brought to you by The Office Sports Bar and Grill, located at 1919 West Isles Avenue. This is a really special place. I've been going there since probably 20 years, since I was in college. And there's just so much cool sports memorabilia, dating back through Springfield's history. All different high schools represented, pro guys, college guys. There's some great stuff on the walls. It's a great place to get together with friends, a great environment, inviting, warm, happy, lively. Great place for great conversation, great drinks, and great food. Please go see this place. Go patronize them. We really appreciate the support. The Office Sports Bar and Grill. We are also brought to you by Body Cemetery, located at 2201 West White Oaks Drive, bodycemetery.com. More specifically, Chad Marshik, the owner, head trainer. This guy is just amazing on so many levels. He is capable of training anyone from a child to a pro athlete to just your normal everyday person to the elderly. And not only is he a trainer, but he is also adept with, physical therapy, nutrition. Everything is going to be customized to you and what you need. There's a movement analysis when you first come in to address any deficiencies you have. It's all customized. Chad is the most positive, happy guy I've ever been around. Body Cemetery will get you right. I would, put my faith in Chad and his trainers any day. So go to bodycemetery.com, get set up. Chad, we appreciate you. Thank you. We spent a good hour and 15 minutes.
That was nice.
I get carried away on this stuff. That was so fun. What was it like hearing all these guys kind of speak on you? Is it cool to hear that? Or yeah.
It's
you don't every day get to hear stuff like that,
right.
know?
No, you don't. Because we all, I speak highly of them. Not around them, and so I think it's kind of probably the same thing where you don't get to hear that stuff on a daily basis.
Sure.
So, you see it from them. They show up for you. I can ask those guys to do pretty much anything for me, whether it just be, hey, I need you to open up the gym today, or I need you, hey, keep an eye on my kid for a minute.
Yeah.
I know my boys have hopped into their cars before and gone over to Casey's for some pizza or snacks or something. So yeah, they're family, and to hear that from your family is pretty cool.
I love that. Well, it's question time, buddy. Yes, do you need a break or anything like that? How are you doing? We could pause it if you want to for a second.
Just a brief pause.
Okay, we'll pause it. We'll come right back. All right, we're back rolling here. We took a short break, and now it is question time. So I love these. I spent quite a bit of time making these, revising them, sending them to him. He's got notes over there, so he's prepared as well. So with no further ado, you ready, buddy?
Yes, sir.
All right. I asked this to everyone. Actually, the first two questions I asked to everyone. You don't even know this question is coming, but is it true if you don't use it, you lose it?
Yes, to a degree. So, genetics-wise, no. Like I talk about some guys who are just naturally gifted.
Mm-hmm.
but yeah, somewhat to a degree, especially when you're talking about my realm, which is strength.
Yeah. So I never know how guys are going to answer that, if it's going to be funny or if they're going to take it serious. So, all right, here we go. You know this question's coming. Tell me which guests you have listened to, why you enjoyed them, anything you got.
Number one for me, one I was just so invested in on my back and forth trips to St. Louis when it aired was PJ Finnegan.
Oh, man, yeah, because you grew up looking up to PJ too, right?
Yeah, so I'm not a true North Ender, but I'm a modified North Ender.
Yeah.
So grew up in Sherman, lived in Indian Hills briefly, but grew up in Indian Hills.
That counts.
Office on Sangamon Avenue, my parish right there on Sangamon Avenue, and my school on Sangamon Avenue. So my childhood was running around Indian Hills, going to Sangamon Center, going to Pisa's, going to Pizza Hut, and running around Indian Hills Park. So, the Fairview League, what it was back then, and watching, PJ and those guys play.
Yeah.
And then his younger brother, Mike, played with my brother. So, hearing kind of the nostalgia of hearing him talk about the Fairview League, and I wasn't super in tune to every little thing that his team was doing on that run, like the Dairy Queen run and everything.
Yeah.
I was pretty young, but then watching him through Lamphere, watching what he was doing over there, basketball, baseball,
special.
So hearing that one, I was just so invested. I could have listened to 10 episodes probably.
PJ,
they were so easy to listen.
He was incredible and so ready to talk too, right? He. A great storyteller, like just engaging. I was worried that when I brought up the Little League stuff, he was going to be like, I played professional baseball. Like, we didn't talk about Little League, but he was in it.
Memory.
Yeah, what a special. Yeah,
I don't remember anything near what he was talking about as far as my career goes in the Fairview League. And then still his mom and dad too, like are still, we'll see them around. It's still a very friendly face to see Greg, starting or at least taking the Fairview League off to what he did.
Yeah.
He made that Fairview League what it was. And then when he left is when it kind of, obviously rec ball went downhill in general, but yeah, I was just, we move around to where we trick or treat every year with my kids.
Oh, cool.
And
That's a good idea.
We trick or treated at, it's basically where we'll go to Sherman one year where my sister lived or where my brother lived, and then we'll go. So one of my sisters lives in Indian Hills, so we did Indian Hills this year, and we knocked on their door. I was like, we got to make sure we go over to the Finnegan's house.
Sure,
they still live in the same house.
Yeah,
so it's pretty cool. Yeah,
beautiful. You got a history with JU. I imagine you listened to that one too.
So,
Justin Knadler.
So on my list was JU, and us working with him over at Body Symmetry.
Yeah.
And I just remember his career as well.
Yeah.
And seeing him make the bigs, and be behind Matheny.
Really cool.
And then so obviously I listened to Jason's as well. I don't know Jason as well.
Yeah.
But listen to his was a real easy listen. Listen to his switch hitting.
Nuts, right?
Just incredible.
Isn't that mind blowing?
Yeah. And so I got my 7-year-old switch hitting.
Beautiful. Good for you.
But so it's pretty cool. But and then Corey Erickson.
Oh man, yeah, North End legend.
Yeah, that was kind of one where I was like, I knew nothing about Corey.
Really?
I heard about him.
Yeah.
In his career, so it was like that was a listen. I was like, I got to hear what his career was like.
Yeah.
And just the monster that he was.
Oh man.
As far as strength goes.
Yeah, and I got a little carried away with that one too because I just grew up worshiping this guy, so I did like everything I could to make it amazing, and it was like 10 hours of Corey Erickson.
Oh, that was a good one too, and just a different realm for me because I did not know anything about his career really besides later on. But and then the last one I had down was I really enjoyed most recently was Cale Hennemans.
Oh yeah,
so
you were texting me about that.
Yeah,
oh man,
hey man, this one kind of surprised me. I was taking a trip to St. Louis with my boy, and I listened to that one down and back. And I was just like, I'm kind of tired. I need to turn on one of the episodes that I haven't listened to yet. And so through on that one, not expecting too much. I knew I've got a few guys that go over to him. But just talking about hitting, like hitting's not super in my realm. Like I don't know. So learned a bunch.
I learned a bunch.
And so and just listen to him eloquently speak about hitting was really surprising because I remember playing. He's younger than me, but
I think I know a lot about hitting, and I feel very humbled when I talk with him. Like I'm like, teach me, man.
I think I texted you. I was like, I now understand why I have 3 or 4 guys. I have 4 cages in here, and I have 3 or 4 guys going to Pawnee to hit a tail.
Right.
So
Yeah.
that makes sense.
Your pro guys, Ben goes out there, Sam goes out there. Yeah, they were. Yep. Right.
Louie raved about him too. It's like I love hitting out there. I love going out there, and so yeah, that was a really good listen.
I love that. Appreciate it too. Who all teams like did you play for coming up? Do you want to shout out any traveling teams or Little League or anything like that you played for?
Yeah, so I grew up in the Fairview League. Obviously, played for my dad in the Fairview League. Played on my brother's team briefly. I think that was just for efficiency reasons, probably for my family. But
how much older is he than you?
He's 2 classes,
okay,
2.5 years older than me.
Yeah.
So I was up there with him and his whole team. My first year of kid pitch in that Fairview League. Yeah, my dad still says, "Well, you hung with him." He kind of strokes me a little bit with that, and I was like, "Yeah, okay, sure." But and then I stayed in that league throughout, and I think travel ball kind of came about like probably 12 years old. Something like that is when it started. Like so, I'd been like 2002, and played for the Mitt Menders. So,
oh really?
We were the Mitt Menders.
The Mitt Menders? That's cool.
Mitt Mender was on our
Yeah.
We were the Mitt Menders.
Kenny Gann.
So shout out Kenny Gann.
Shout out.
So AJ would have been on that team.
Yeah.
Me and AJ are same age. Played college ball together too.
Right.
I played some more travel ball together after the Mitt Mender. And then somewhere along the way I became the Warriors, and then the Cannons, and then finished with the Statesmen. So
okay.
The Statesman, probably a more familiar name.
Was that with Mikey Finn? Or wait, no, he was with your brother.
So
okay,
we were
right.
the older team.
Okay.
I think we were both Statesmen at the same time. Yeah, because I started at 16, so my brother would have been 18 that year. So I played 16, 17, 18 with the Statesmen, and just a bunch of dudes on that team that I could shout out.
It's cool that it became a program too, because I knew him as this like Dusty Bensko, Finnegan, J.R. Keyes, these Eric Gum, these like dudes from this area, and it became this. Tiers of it.
It ended briefly after my age. There was like 1 or 2 maybe under me, and then it ended with I think Greg Finnegan and those guys just kind of being done with it.
I think I heard Greg not wanting to like let that name out. Like he was kind of protective over it.
Yeah, that's what I had heard, and
he's a dude to his heart. He built something special.
I mean, it was something special.
We just give it to anyone, right?
Yeah. I think someone had reached out about it, and they became something else. But yeah. Man, those Statesman guys. I mean, I was a small fish in a big pond on that team.
Yeah.
Played for Russ Hayes. So Chad Hayes.
Okay, yeah.
And grew up playing with and against Chad, kind of in and out, like Bulldogs. They were the Bulldogs prior, and then I kind of joined that team. They were the Statesmen. Kyle Krager. Good grief, so many guys. Chad, Alex Pfeiffer. So we were a mix of like Chatham, couple SHG guys, couple area guys, Jacksonville guys, but played college ball with several of them too.
Okay.
So that was kind of cool. I got to go to Kyle Krager for several years. Summer and then in college. So couldn't have asked for a better catcher. That's for sure.
For sure.
Just a great leader.
How would you categorize kind of your high school baseball experience? Did you play under Mike Eck?
Yes. So played, I played freshman ball, played JV ball, did that, did the whole thing. And then, junior year, that would have been Mike Eck's first year.
Okay.
So, Coach C, he became the dean of students at SHG and gave up that baseball position.
Gotcha.
So my junior year would have been Mike Eck's first year. And then it was still senior year was still Mike Eck, and then he stayed there for a while, and then I believe it was Nick Namovich was his successor.
Correct.
Yeah. Yep. John Eck was around.
Yeah, that's my boy. That's my boy.
Yep. I remember him throwing to us.
Oh yeah.
Getting us ready for playoffs. Remember my senior
he throws great BP. Great BP thrower.
But he was also threw off the map.
Yeah, could still do it. Yeah. Could get people out if he needed to, right? I remember him talking about challenging guys and stuff. Yeah.
He was, I don't know how many, he was probably just throwing fastballs, but I remember him chucking it to us senior year, preparing us specifically for regionals.
Yeah.
My Coach Eck was like, I want John to come out here and throw to you guys.
That's cool.
And I remember gapping him up.
Yeah.
On a double in the gap. And I hit it in the exact same spot again in the regional semifinal. And I was like, man, that was because
that's awesome.
was out there throwing to us.
That's awesome.
But yeah, just the way the young brain thinks. But
How'd you end up at SCI?
So my brother was already there,
right,
playing for Coach Tor.
Mm-hmm.
I don't remember my recruiting process much. There wasn't much to it, honestly. I think I had gone to a couple camps and maybe some D3s or something had sent me crap in the mail.
Mm-hmm.
There was nothing extraordinary. And I don't remember. I might have sent a feeler to Tor, like an email or something. But yeah, my brother, I don't think my brother got him to contact me or anything. He might, I mean, I'm sure he knew who I was.
Yeah.
You know, Tor knew who all the local guys were.
Sure, absolutely.
So yeah, I think I just went in for a meeting with him, and it was, I think in his office at SCI at Springfield College, and I just left with an offer.
Yeah.
I remember, I think I was surprised when I went into it. He's like, "Oh no, I'm bringing you in. Like, if I bring you in, this means
offer, yeah, scholarship, yeah."
Because I didn't know anything about the recruiting
Right.
process. It was like, "Oh, yeah, okay. I guess I'll think about it." Like Lincoln Land never contacted me. I was just like, I guess I was just kind of surprised, and I was like, "Oh yeah, I mean, I want to play.
Sure, this is where I'm going."
Yeah, so I'll just go here. I mean, my brother likes it. So yeah.
Good experience there for you. I'd love to hear a little bit about it.
Yeah, I mean, and it was huge for me that so many guys were going there that I was already familiar with.
Yeah, absolutely.
Kyle Krager, Mike Hayes, JP Kane, AJ Gand. My one of my best friends in high school was Tom Newell. He was going there. And just so many familiar names. Yeah, with Tor, it was like, I mean, he fostered that family environment that we talk about. And he was so much more than a coach. And so many regrets about my, I don't know, regrets or whatever about my college days, just like playing for him. I took it so for granted, I feel like playing for him. And I still have dreams about playing for SCI and like
really
missing the bus.
Really?
Yeah, like
interesting.
I think I've heard athletes talk about this before.
Well, I always ask guys, do you still have baseball dreams?
Oh yeah, it's not like me on the field. It's more like, oh crap, I forgot my equipment, or oh crap, we were supposed to meet at the clubhouse.
What would a psychologist say about that? That's interesting.
Yeah, it's got to be something. Like I think it was something with I felt like I let him down. Just
interesting.
You looking back, it's like I don't feel like I worked hard enough.
Yeah,
it's like, and that's a huge part of what I do in here. It's like
interesting.
Like don't make the same mistakes I do.
Ooh. There's a little motivation.
It's kind of corny.
That's like a core thing.
So I don't talk about it a lot, but it's like I'm constantly in here thinking like my goal, my vision, where it comes from is do more than I did. Like don't because there was so much more to be. I mean, I guess back then I just felt like who I am is who I am. Like this is the baseball player I am. There's no getting better. Like, I'm not, it's like I'm either going to be good or I'm not.
But you realize now that you can move that needle.
Oh, yeah. There's so much you can do. And it's just, it wasn't on my brain back then.
Interesting.
It was on other guys' brains.
Oh, that's cool.
For me, it was like, oh, where are we hanging out tonight? What are we eating tonight? This is fun. Like I wanted to do good. I was uber competitive.
Yeah.
But I just felt like, well, if I just try harder on the field, like that's going to, be the result. And,
but you needed to be in here, and I'm pointing to a weight room. Yeah,
mobility.
All that.
Arm care.
Yeah,
was on my brain.
Right.
I wasn't thinking like, when am I shutting my arm down? Like, like I'm constantly on these guys. Like, when you shutting your arm down,
right?
What's your plan?
Right.
That was never on my brain. So I harp on it so much in here because I'm like, I never had a plan, and that's why I had so many arm injuries. I mean, I don't think I was truly healthy with no pain, with pain-free until I stopped playing.
Really?
High school, varsity, through college.
There's always something in pain,
bicep tendon, which I didn't know what it was back then. Now I know it was bicep tendonitis in high school. And then in college,
I used to struggle with that too.
Shifted to my shoulder, and I changed my mechanics a little bit. And gosh, I started my freshman year quite a bit. We had a pretty good team. I was just kind of like spot starting, and I think he wanted 3 of us freshmen to kind of come in that next year and be the starter, be the conference starters our sophomore year. And I just, so I think I had a good freshman year, but it was like spot starting and coming out of the pen in long relief a little bit. But, my sophomore year, I just started to have a nagging shoulder thing where you don't want to talk about it. It wasn't like, because I don't want to lose my spot.
Right.
So, then it became pretty obvious. I lost my changeup. I guess I probably dropped my arm a little bit to try to
compensate.
Try to compensate for the pain. Lost my changeup, which was my bread and butter. I still teach guys the changeup in here because there's so many guys that lack that.
Yeah.
That pitch, and it was the reason I was able to throw in college at all.
Really?
Because I wasn't breaking any, I wasn't shattering any.
Yeah.
So once I lost that, it was just like I lost a lot of myself, I think. And
Interesting.
so I got moved to the bullpen, and then I couldn't get through the lineup more than once. I mean, it was just I was in a lot of pain. That played a huge factor in stopping after my sophomore year. Not that I had offers, but tour. So we transitioned from SCI to Benedictine.
Right. I'm sure you could have stayed on if you wanted to.
Tour brought all of us into his office one at a time. It was like, I'm offering you all to stay.
Yeah.
There's 13 of us or something like that. I think like 6 stayed and 7 moved on.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was not a question. Like if I was going to continue playing, it was going to be there. And I think that's really where all of us were in. I think maybe one guy moved on. One of my roommates moved on.
So why did you make that decision to you ended up going to ISU and getting an exercise science degree and hanging them up? Yep. So what was that a hard choice for you, or you felt like your arm kind of made it for you?
Well, it was partially my arm. I felt done at the time. It just felt like
sometimes you just know.
Yeah, and also I'd just gotten in. So that winter, right before the season started, I just started my relationship with my now wife. So by the time I had to make a decision, no, I guess it wouldn't have been that. I would have made my decision before that. So, yeah, because I would have made my decision well before then. So I don't know. But it ended up working out because we both went up to Bloomington. But, I just felt done. I think I was like, all right, I'm just ready to go to school now. Start thinking about how I'm going to make money when I get out of college. But yeah, I don't remember thinking I made the wrong decision or anything, especially since me and Sammy moved up to Bloomington pretty much together.
Was that plan strength coach at that point?
No.
Were you thinking PT or something like that?
I think I was. Yeah, I think I was like, I got to do something on my feet. I'm not going to sit at a desk.
Right.
But I think I floated a lot of ideas out there, and trying to decide what major I was going to slip into at ISU because you're so general leaving at JUCO.
Right.
So I don't remember. I think I remember when I saw exercise science like on a pamphlet. I was like, oh,
sure.
Like that. I've never even heard of that. Exercise science was just called kinesiology back then.
Yeah.
At every other school.
Right.
For some reason, ISU had changed it to exercise science.
Yeah.
Because I'm sure if I'd have saw kinesiology, I'd be like,
I don't know that word. Yeah. That's so funny.
But yeah, it was exercise science. And I was like, ooh.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, I don't know what I'm going to do with that. But then it was like, I think physical therapy. And I thought about physician's assistant school.
Yep.
I read like a book on how to get into physician's assistant school. Got my EMT. And then when I got my EMT, that's when I was kind of like...
You got the firefighting idea in your head?
Because I did it at a fire department up there called Towanda Fire Department, little town. And that's when I was kind of like, ooh, I think I could do this. Like, this sounds like up my alley. Like, on my feet, not sitting at a desk.
Yeah.
And then the whole, I got serious into lifting. Not until then. Probably my junior year of college was when I started lifting weights.
Beautiful.
A lot. So... yeah, it was kind of that.
Funny to think if you had seen kinesiology instead of exercise science, you might be doing something different, right?
Yeah, I don't know.
Who knows?
Yeah, I went to school with a lot of guys who were probably doing all kinds of different things.
Yeah.
A lot of people stone step in there, like step into physical therapy.
Yeah, for sure.
Or even medical school.
Absolutely.
And now a few words from our sponsors. Thank you. We are also brought to you by Sheehan & Sheehan Lawyers, located at 1215 South 4th Street, Suite A. They can be contacted at 217-544-0701. I'm talking Pat Sr., Pat Jr., and Willie. They can be contacted for adoption needs, agricultural law, business and commercial law, estate planning, real estate planning, taxation, traffic and minor traffic offenses, personal injury, wrongful death suits. And I grew up with Willie playing baseball on the Southwest Braves. We were state champs. He played high school baseball and soccer at SHG. Pat Jr. was an accomplished baseball player at SHG, SCI, and finally the U of I, We really appreciate the Sheens here. Love this guy. Love his family. Great, great family. So go see these guys. Appreciate you. We are also brought to you by Cardinal Cleaning. They can be reached at cardinalcleaningonline.com and 217-679-6567. The owner-operator, Adam Springer, local baseball dude, family friend, stand out at Chatham Glenwood in the mid-'90s. Also had a stellar career at Rend Lake and Kentucky Wesleyan. Cardinal Cleaning can take care of any cleaning needs you have. Home, business, restaurant, weekly, bi-weekly, monthly, whatever you need, they can take care of you. Get a hold of Cardinal Cleaning. They'll do the rest. This episode is brought to you by Glisten Heating and Air. You can reach them at 217-341-3129 or visit glistenheatingandair.com. That's GLISSON. This is owned and operated by Gibbs Gleason himself, a member of the 2000 Pleasant Plains baseball team that were state champs. That's the Dusty Bensko era, former guest. This guy's in the baseball community. He helps coach his son, who's in the local travel scene. This truly is the pros pro for HVAC in the area. I mean, this is a who's who of former pros that have used him. Let's talk about Corey Erickson, Jason Worth, Ryan Murphy, Jason Knadler, Justin Knadler, Brad Owens, Greg Morantz, Jason Washam, Eric Easley. His reviews speak for themselves. Call Glisten Heating and Air. They care about your air. We appreciate you. We are also brought to you by Milner Dentistry, located at 755 South Grand Avenue West. They can be reached at 217-528-3384. Dr. Ty and his staff are incredible. The place is clean. They do amazing work. They can handle all your dentistry needs. Thanks again to Dr. Ty for agreeing to sponsor us here. He was a standout at Rochester SCI and then later had a really cool story of walking on at the U of I. Have a ton of respect for this guy. Please go support Dr. Ty and Milner Dentistry.
Yep. All right, man. I got some of our fun ones that everyone gets asked now. Greatest baseball movie and the worst.
So, I think greatest for me right now has got to be The Sandlot. I know that's probably not as popular. Like the more popular thing would be like I wanted to say Major League.
Yeah.
Like obviously hilarious, but nostalgia wise for the game of baseball, and I get to watch Sandlot with my kids.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I can't wait to do that with mine.
Throw that up in the car every once in a while, just like throw it up on the TV, and they they don't get to finish it in one sitting. It's like, oh, we'll finish it tomorrow night or the next night. So yeah, Sandlot, close runner up, Major League. Worst has got to be for me, Summer Catch.
It is.
Freddie Prinze Jr.
Yeah.
Jessica Biel.
It's terrible.
Pretty cool that now you know about the Cape Cod League, because I didn't know what the Cape Cod League was back then.
Yeah.
It came out, but just kind of such a mock, just mocking
of such a magical thing.
Yeah, like,
right? It's
like
so special.
In the middle of a game, the Cape Cod League.
Leave in the middle of a no-no.
Yeah, not a good.
Yeah, and his throwing motion wasn't great either, and just it was rough. All right, who do you root for, or who's your favorite team?
Cardinals.
You're a Cards guy, aren't you?
Yeah. I watched the Cardinals game yesterday.
Yeah.
3 home runs by Ivan Herrera.
Who are some of your favorite all-time Cards? That's off the cuff. It's not on there.
Yeah. Gosh. It comes to mind. Chris Carpenter.
Yeah.
Wainwright.
Uh-huh.
Was huge fans of them. Obviously Pujols. My original Cardinal that when I first started like going to games at Old Bush would have been Ray Langford.
Oh man. I'm sorry, I got excited there. One of my all-time faves too, and I'm so glad no one's ever said Ray Langford. That's one of my all-time faves. Beautiful.
Yep. I remember my brother was a big
Power and Speed.
Ron Gant.
Oh, Ronnie Gant. Yeah, he had a couple years there.
Yeah, and so it was like my brother we'd go to a game with my dad, and he'd be like, I want the Gant jersey, and I'm like, I want the Langford stuff. So it's 5 and 16.
16, yeah.
So
oh man.
So yeah, my brother grew up with the number 5.
Yeah.
On all his stuff because of Ron Gant.
That's cool.
And then I kind of followed in that footstep.
Ray Langford. I swear I've seen you in a picture of like the baby blue Cardinal jersey. Do you have one of those, or am I off? Did you get an Arenado jersey when he came?
Yeah.
That's what I was. That's an Arenado. I saw that. Yeah, that was sicko.
Yeah, gosh, Langford, Pujols, Scott Rowland.
Some great ones. In your opinion, all-time greatest pitcher and then hitter?
pitcher's got to be Roger Clemens, the Rocket.
I agree.
7-time Cy Young.
His resume is incredible. I mean, he did what he did, but
that one was hard for me because I'm like, God, there's so many great pitchers that don't have the accolades that he does.
His accolades are undeniable.
Pedro Martinez, even Randy Johnson's close. I think Randy's got 5 Cy Youngs.
Yeah, those names. Every name you just said you can make an argument for.
You just got to go with the Rocket because of the 7 Cy Youngs.
Yeah.
Barry Bonds hitter.
Yep.
No question. That one wasn't hard for me.
Sure. It's been pretty much the consensus of everyone.
I mean, people, you may not like him, but
most people don't.
Contact plus power,
precision. It's just unreal what he was. Like a superhero.
It's crazy. I mean, steroids or not, doesn't matter. You still got to put the bat on.
That's the truth. Favorite all-time player, is it Ray Langford? Or do you got someone else?
No. Favorite all-time player. Let's see. Yeah. So I think with this one, I was like, man, I got to give a pitcher and a hitter.
Yeah. Okay.
So Greg Maddux,
yeah,
pitcher, just because I basically mocked a lot of what I did on the mound was Greg Maddux.
Oh, cool.
Type style. Like I can put my fastball
here, run it back.
If I can't put it in a tin can, they're gonna hit it.
Yeah.
And then the changeup, obviously, it was huge on the changeup. And then Albert Pujols.
Cool. This is a new question. I've never asked anyone this, but it just came to my head. All-time starting lineup. So if you had to name a 1 through 9.
Yeah, this one was hard. So because it's like you just want to put a bunch of Cardinals in it.
Right.
So it's like I really got to think outside the box. So catcher's got to be Yachty.
Yeah. Oh God. Yeah, for sure.
Gotta be Yachty. Pitcher Maddux.
Mm-hmm.
Third base Scott Rowland.
Mm-hmm.
Still on the Cardinals, but hold on.
It's okay.
Shortstop Ozzie Smith, the Wizard, just because of defense.
You don't have to leave the Cardinals if you don't want to. I mean, they're literally their history is so rich.
Tougher. But just thinking of how successful he was, how many times he got to the highest level was Chase Utley.
Oh yeah.
And then Albert at first.
Mm-hmm.
Then my outfield, Ray Langford in left.
Mm-hmm.
Mike Trout, center field.
Mm-hmm.
That's all I played yesterday.
Yeah.
And then right field, Tony Gwynn.
Tony Gwynn, I like that lineup.
Tony Gwynn, for me, is again a little bit nostalgic because my dad was a huge Tony Gwynn fan.
Okay.
My coffee table had the Tony Gwynn book.
Oh, the hitting book?
Yeah.
I love that book. Yeah.
Sitting on the coffee table.
Yep, I've got that book.
Under it.
Yep.
And my dad would constantly reference Tony Gwynn.
Really?
With our swings.
That's cool.
So my dad played Division I as well.
That's right.
Outside of Lincoln Land, and he taught me everything I knew about hitting.
Yeah. Did you ever play at Citadel? Where was it? It was somewhere
close. He played at Lincoln Land, and then he went to Centenary.
I knew it was a military type thing. Yeah, right.
So Centenary is now a D3.
Right.
But they were.
And then your brother played at IUPI or
IPFW.
Is that the Dons?
Yes.
I love that.
Mastodons.
Yeah, the Mastodons.
Yeah. What Centenary was in. So Centenary
That's cool,
was
right?
Still Division I at that time.
Yeah.
And Joel actually took a visit to Centenary.
Oh, really?
Yeah, with my dad. But yeah, he played at Centenary, and my dad, from what people say and what I understand, was he was a great contact hitter.
Yeah.
So he mocked his game,
off Tony Gwynn.
Well, yeah, he was older than Tony Gwynn, I think, a little bit, or maybe around the same age. But yeah, his game was essentially the same as Tony Gwynn's, kind of like that contact, knob to ball,
mm-hmm.
line drive up the middle.
Yeah.
And trying to take the ball over the second baseman's head.
Yep.
For him would have been shortstop.
Right.
So yeah, all of my philosophies of 2-strike hitting that I grew up with, kind of priding myself on not striking out,
mm-hmm.
putting the ball in play even with 2 strikes, was Tony Gwynn. Now my ceiling of
that's cool.
was not super high, but it's just kind of cool. Like you could still use a lot of what Tony Gwynn, to coach younger kids, especially.
Absolutely. Yep. Rest in peace to Tony Gwynn, one of the greatest to ever do it. All right, next one. I love this question too. Best baseball video game of all time.
Yeah, man, I'm boring. Like,
you got nothing?
So no, I do have something. Because I actually had to look up what the name of it was.
Okay, what we got? This is going to be some obscure video game.
No, it's just MVP.
Oh, yeah,
so
for sure.
I never played. I remember I'd always go over to my friend's house, and they'd be like, oh, MLB The Show. And I'd be like, I don't play The Show.
Yeah.
I don't play The Show. I don't know if it was like more outlandish, kind of like, was it the one with like the fire behind the ball occasionally, or is The Show pretty?
Was that like MLB Slugfest or something like that? There was like a Sammy Sosa one where there was like fire.
I was like, I'm traditionalist. Like I want the real.
Yeah.
I want it to be more realistic as it can be. So I always had the one where it was like, like Manny Ramirez on the front. Like
I think that's 04.
Yeah, like
Oh, man.
MVP.
I love that game so much.
Yeah.
Great answer. And then here we go. My man has got his glove. So the question is your glove of choice, and I'm so glad he's got this beautiful tan Glovesmith sitting here. Actually, you're going to see video because we're doing video for the first time. So tell me about this Glovesmith. Let's talk a little bit about Glovesmith history. It's like a Springfield kind of thing. Smells good? Yeah, buddy.
So, yeah, the Glovesmith is – now, I can't tell you before this how many Glovesmiths I had, but shout out to Kenny Gand. He was the mitt mender.
Yeah.
He had Glovesmith was his deal. So
yeah, he had like some sort of a connection where he could hook people up for a discount or something.
He was friends with my dad as well. So and then I played with AJ growing up. But man, this golden
thing is beautiful.
Glovesmith was my infield glove that I got early high school. And the way it broke in and just
got good shape to it.
The color of it is just unreal. And it's in such good condition.
It really is. I can't believe that's a 20-year-old glove.
I mean, it's crazy. It is all of 20 years, I bet.
And good on you for not. Some people will like put so much crap on it that it changes the color and gets it really dark. Like that's still light and beautiful looking.
If something ever happened to this glove, if I lost it, I probably would shed tears. I'll whip it out.
I get that.
I love whipping it out. I'll put it to my face, just like when I'm about to play catch with my boy. And just like I'll just smell it.
Oh man, I get that deeply.
Yeah,
and that if you get it, you get it.
So yeah, gotta go with Glovesmith. I'm a big Wilson fan too. I'll always look for Wilsons for like my kids and stuff, like secondhand. But I wish Glovesmith was around. But yeah,
are they still making gloves, or is it Dunzo?
No idea.
I gotta look that up. I want to say they are, but it's not still as prominent.
I just used to think this was the Kenny Gand brand.
I did too. I thought it was Kenny Gand's thing. Yeah, it was like, and a lot of people in this area had Glovesmiths, like high level guys. Yeah,
I remember. Yeah,
cool. All right. We already kind of talked about it, but what all pitches did you throw? What was your arsenal?
2-seam, 4-seam, mix it up based off either what I was feeling that day, or what was. If my 2-seam, because my 2-seam moved quite a bit, so if it was moving too much and I was having trouble throwing strikes, go 4-seam. Never threw anything super fancy. Threw a changeup. My dad taught me to change up when I was like 8 or 9, or whenever I started kid pitch. I started with a changeup just to give a different mix. So my changeup was my bread and butter. Actually threw, I don't know if you ever heard of this before, but I threw a palm ball.
Yeah, changeup. It's just like you
because I
way deep, right?
Hands. Yeah. So my dad taught me to like jam the seam into my pads and then just gently wrap the fingers.
Yeah.
So I threw a palm ball until like my junior.
I think Jack Morris was famous for throwing a palm ball. He was a palm ball guy anyway.
It was my bread and butter until my junior or senior year. I think someone was like, "You need to throw."
You don't hear palm ball. Most people circle change is what everyone throws, right? Yeah.
So, and I didn't like it at first, but I was like, "Well, this is what my college coach wants me to throw." Because I think I went to maybe one of Tor's camps, and he was like, "You need to throw a circle." I was like, "All right." Well, I don't have big hands. I never had big hands, so I wasn't throwing a splitty or anything like that. But yeah, change up, and then I threw like a half-ass curveball in high school.
It's fun.
Like a slurve. Yeah. And then I think it was probably Tor or somebody, one of my coaches at college was like, you need to throw a slider. Arm angles, you can't throw a curve.
Yeah.
So I threw it again. I probably threw a handful of.
Does that tell me you're kind of over here, 3/4?
Yeah, I was 3/4.
Okay.
Definitely not sidearm, but it's not, I guess not over the top enough.
Enough for it. Where it makes sense to throw a curve?
Yeah. I guess my spin rate probably wasn't high enough, knowing what we know now. But yeah, I probably threw like 10 good sliders in college. It's just just a change of pace.
Yeah.
It's fastball change up, yeah.
Well, I think you already answered it, but do you want to expound any more? Was it hard for you when your career ended? Or you kind of sound like it was a natural transition of like...
It was pretty natural. I mean, we lost in the playoffs, and I think, traditionally we threw a huge party that night, and... I think I was just like, I was really invested in my relationship with Sammy. So I was probably like, I'm just ready to kind of rock this and be done with that. So
for sure. What got you interested in strength and conditioning? And you kind of already alluded to that of like looking back of like, oh, I wish I had been doing this, you know?
So I was lifting at the rec center at ISU. And I lifted a little bit at SCI. We didn't really have a dedicated. We had a little weight space under the old gym over there at Ursuline. Never really got into it though. Had no idea what we were doing, any of us, regardless of what some of those guys might say. It wasn't coached or anything.
Right.
It was like, oh, so and so lifted a lot at Glenwood, so we're gonna do what he said.
Exactly.
It was a joke. And then by the time we got to when I got to ISU and I got into the exercise science program, I was like, I'm gonna start working out and lifting, and then kind of realized like I'm kind of strong. Like I'm a little bit,
naturally
be strong.
Yeah.
Just moving more weights than other guys that were around me. And then I was kind of like, man, I think that combined with the exercise science kind of started to get interested in. I was really interested in like anatomy and physiology, so that's like my favorite class I took.
Yeah.
And I was good at it. Like I aced that class really easily. Just kind of came naturally to me, I guess. Just how the body works, how muscles work, how tendons work. So really that A&P 182 is kind of what set me on the path of
that's cool
understanding the body.
Yeah.
And so, that's really where that took off. And then from there, it was ISU is really clinical, or it was. The exercise science program was. So it wasn't like spending time with like the strength conditioning coaches or anything over there. It was nothing like that. It was really clinical. So they had a really nice state-of-the-art lab. So like underwater weighing tank, pod, VO2 max testing, like stuff like that. And I really got invested in that. And then there's like biomechanics class. But we spent a lot of time in the lab over there. And that's what got me interested in that. But I don't know what my plan was. It wasn't, I was like, I don't want to be a 6 a.m. to 6 p.m.
Right.
Strength coach.
Yeah.
Which is what I ended up doing. But I didn't want to do that for like a college program.
Yeah.
Again, I was pretty serious with my wife now, at the time girlfriend, and was just trying to think what's stable. And my thought was definitely not making what a college strength conditioning assistant coach makes.
Yeah, it's tough.
And, 60 hours a week.
It's a grind.
You're an intern. Most of those guys were getting paid nothing.
Right.
On those internships they were doing.
Just building their resume until you can, build the
So
climb the ladder.
We'll actually have an intern this summer, and it's a paid internship. It's like big on like, hey, there's no free internships. Like if you're doing work for me,
good for you.
So, but from there, and then obviously, what happened after that, kind of getting the career started.
We're going to go ahead and pause right there and call this part 1. Be sure to tune in